And welcome back to Roundtable Combatives,
your favorite new podcast on all things martial arts.
Thank you, Billy. And today we have Zack Young. Zack Young is one of our students at Cyclone. I think he got his beginnings in fitness early with school football, and he's competed in Ironmans and was it triathlons? And yeah. I don't know. I can't run, man. I cannot run. Ever since I was young, I couldn't run. But if he looks familiar, he's also our St. Charles Parish Justice of the Peace,
District 2.
District 2. I didn't have that. Thank you for that, Billy.
You're welcome.
He's born and raised in the area, and we're glad to have him today. We're going to talk about some jiu-jitsu. We're going to talk about his political, or I guess is it considered politics career, his competition in the Ironmans and such for those of you crazy people who are interested in that. But it's good to have you, Zack.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Oh, I totally forgot too. He also has his own podcast, Off the Record, with
Young Zack.
Young Zack.
Yeah.
That confused me a little bit because when I looked it up, I said, "Wait, yeah, Zack Young." So Young Zack. I was like, "Wait, what's his name? Is it Young Zack?"
Yeah,
that threw me off.
Like
man.
a high school thing. So there's like 3 Zacks. So I don't know. My friend started with the Young Zack, and it just kind of just take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So it's a pretty interesting podcast. I've listened to quite a few episodes. So check it out. It's on all the platforms as well. Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. I believe it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But check them out. Off the Record with Young Zack. So Zack, let's talk about jiu-jitsu. You're one of our newest students that came when we transitioned to the fundamental program. Yeah. And so, in general, how are you liking it so far?
It's eye-opening. You know, there's you don't even know what you don't know until you step in there and start getting some training, which I knew I was just absolutely inadequate at any of that type of stuff. So I also underestimated, I heard people say, like when you start with the grappling and you get into some rolling, how just physically demanding it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't do it justice.
Right.
Like I'm still figuring out like to breathe, because that's important. But man, it's just all around. I just kind of equate it to like one of those life skills. It's like, I don't think it's anything that I'll ever stop doing. Right. I'm sure like through the years and with age, it'll change and look a little different, but I don't see that going away for me.
Yeah. I know a lot of people talk about having injuries and not being able to start because of possible injuries or whatever, but you were talking to us before we came on the air about having back fusions. And
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I was fused before my 19th birthday, July 2004, cervical spine C6-7. So, I started college right after that. And look, so the kind of general thought of all that stuff in the early days was like, look, don't run, don't lift overhead. Yeah. Because so when you take a joint out, it puts pressure on the joint above and below. So they're trying to avoid like future complications and all that stuff. So, and then through the years, I kind of listened to that and I just felt terrible. And after I graduated from college, I started working out again and really getting active. And once you bring the core strength and some of that mobility back online, you realize like that is the answer.
Yeah.
100%. That's changed. They're kind of getting away from that because, sedentary lifestyle is just pretty much a no-no.
Yeah.
Across the board. So, body in motion keeps moving. So that's just been my thing. And yeah, I've had some accomplishments that I'm proud of. The Ironman stuff. That's a pretty grueling, long process.
Yeah. I think I could swim and I could bike, but I cannot run, man. I just cannot run.
The bike's the worst part.
Really?
Yeah. The bike's the worst.
Well, the bike's usually right after the swimming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you still wet.
Yeah. So you're really
swim, bike, run.
There, yeah.
And so I was a cyclist. So I was riding thousands of miles a year before I even got into the triathlon.
Okay. Yeah.
I swam competitively as a kid, and I had some high level stuff that I did, like just within the state. Yeah. But so it was kind of net. But even the endurance swimming and then open water, it changes everything.
Right.
But the bike, man, it just wears on you. Like just being in that saddle for 3+ hours. It's a long day.
Yeah. The most I've biked it was about 30 miles, and I'll do that. I would do that on the weekends when I had the time to do it.
Yeah,
because it does, like, if you want to get a good work, like 30 miles was a good workout, but it took a while. You know what I mean?
It does.
It ain't like going to the gym and knocking out a good workout in an hour.
No,
I'm still there. You know, you got.
And then if you don't have a good saddle, a good seat, or whatever,
even if you do,
yeah,
you're putting so much pressure. Like, you think about it, like, it's basically hands, wrist, your feet, like your contact points are so few. So like, you're just putting pressure on your body for that amount of time. And
I would get numb.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
I would get numb there by the end of the ride. You know, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get up. Yeah.
That's not good. That's
I know.
Bad circulation.
Yes, I worked with a guy. It takes several hours. You make an appointment with this guy. He's like, he's world renowned. He's fit, like Tour de France athletes.
Yeah,
and he used to be at Bayou Bicycles in Mid City. Rob, I'm thinking I don't know. I'm at a loss for his last name. I have to look it up. But anyway, so he's like a professional bike fitter. And he puts you on I don't know, just kind of like almost like an exam table and stretches you.
Okay.
So like, you wear like your gear, he stretches you all out, gets you, kind of warmed up. I mean, to the point where like you're sweating, like you're really getting in, like a good Angel stretch.
Yeah.
You know how she gets in there, kind of like that. And then he puts you on this bike, and he puts Velcro all over you, and you've got all these sensors, and then he's moving, and this bike is completely adjustable. And then when he figures out your stuff, he translates it over to the other bike.
Oh, nice.
And then he puts you on your bike, and then he does the same thing and watches.
So
and
you have the perfect setting.
Supposed to, but yeah. So it. And then there's been a few adjustments I've done.
Is that like really expensive?
Yes.
Imagine.
I think he's about he's not as expensive as my attorney, but he's close.
Well, man. Well, at least you only got to do it once, though, right?
Well, I have several bikes.
So you got to do it for each bike.
Yeah, I only really did it on the tri bike because you lay in those in the tri bike, so you really lay out in that. And that really changes. And then with me having a lack of mobility because of my fusion, it was really, I really needed to get comfortable in that, bike. So,
so real quick before we go on from the field, because I'm gonna start riding in the summer. What do I do to prevent that numbness? So
there's a lot of nerves that cross, like in your groin.
Yeah.
And so if you put pressure there, that's why you're having that. It could be a combination of things. Could be having your seat too high. Or I mean the forward and aft tilt could be something like that,
right,
or even just the type of saddle. So they make what kind of bike are you riding?
It's a Trek.
Is it like a hybrid or
it's a road bike.
Okay. Yeah, they have like a triathlon saddle.
I don't know.
You probably just have like whatever was on it.
It's just a skinny little fucking thing. And has the inside's hollow.
Yeah, so it's got like a relief cut, and that's supposed to alleviate that. Yeah. But sometimes the saddle can be too soft to where like it presses down.
I think this is too hard.
Well, you would think that, but sometimes it's kind of counter to what you would think. But they make some saddles that don't have a nose, and then it's supposed to kind of take some of the pressure off.
Yeah.
So it's just really a matter of, I've got like a bucket at my house of saddles. Just come get some and try them out. And figure out what works. I mean, it's kind of trial and error.
We're just gonna put a bunch of stuff up to your butt there, Rennie, and see what makes you numb and what doesn't.
In my crotch.
Yeah, don't do that.
Which Ironmans did you compete in? Yeah.
So I did New Orleans and Augusta, and both of those are 70.3. So it's a total of 70 miles. That's 70.3. The 0.3. The 70 is not so bad as the 0.3 that kills you.
The last bit.
It is. So it's like a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike, and then you run a half marathon at the end, which is 13.1.
Wow. I commend you for that, man, because that's some cardio.
And the swim is in Lake Pontchartrain,
it's in South Shore Harbor. It was the worst swim of my life.
Oh, South Shore Harbor, yeah.
It was bad. It was a bad swim. Area. It was a really bad swim. So they couldn't. The weather was so bad they couldn't get the jet skis in to kind of just patrol or kind of help out. And it was pretty ugly, man. We were like 4 minutes in, and people were tapping out.
Wow. So, what time of year was it?
I believe
was it cold? Or was it just?
It was like October. So we had a front that came in.
Yeah.
And we woke up that morning. It was like in the low 50s.
Oh, nice.
And then so that little weather system moved in, and they had canceled the swim or the triathlon 3 years in a row prior to this.
Because of weather.
Just inclement weather.
Oh wow.
So swim was rugged.
Oh man. So all these things that you accomplished in physically, was your injury kind of the drive that pushed you to say, "Hey, I can do this, even though I'm injured. I can push myself and do these things."
Not really. I've never really like looked at it as a deficit or like or considered myself like. Look, there was a guy that did this race with me. I still keep in touch with him and follow him on Facebook. He was in a wheelchair, and like so that guy, they make bikes where you pedal with your hands.
Yeah,
and then he's in a wheelchair so it's all arms. I think he blew.
Oh wow.
I think he just blew out both of his rotator cuffs. Like I don't put myself in that category, obviously. I don't know. It's more of a. I guess it's more of like a mentality. I'm always like
you've always had to be.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man,
yourself,
if it's cool to run a mile, how cool would it be to run 10?
Yeah,
you know. And I was signed up. I was training for an ultra marathon in 2020. It was supposed to be in June. They canceled everything because of COVID. So then I kind of like fell up. But it was a 50 mile run.
Wow.
So
I think we found the next person on our competition team, Bernie.
Yes.
How cool would it be to have your hand raised in a
so
jiu-jitsu
when
tournament?
we were grappling the last, what day was it? Tuesday that you came?
Yeah, Tuesday.
It's me and Decky.
Yeah.
And he grappled with us and stuff. And Decky was even saying, yeah, man, he's gonna be good, because he's strong. Is just the reps on the mat, man.
Yeah.
He will be a force. But yeah, man, that's interesting. That's very cool, because I guess see, I can't. I've tried to run, and I've ran, and when I was younger, I would run, but I just can't. Like 3 miles, I'm like, man, fuck this. I don't care, man. I'm just stopping.
So it's hard. It's hard, and I absolutely detest it. I hate it.
Yeah,
but that's why I do it.
Yeah,
because it's just
well, and not only that, I think it's my knees though. I got bad knees, and
could be.
I just can't walk.
Yeah,
for the rest of the 2 weeks after that.
That's
like,
not good.
yeah,
that's
I'm just
good.
like not mobile.
As somebody else that has a herniated disc, all I know is the compaction constantly of running on my disc. I'm hurting for weeks after, and I'd have to go get adjusted and stuff like that. So I just don't put myself through that. Where I got the mat, I get on the mat, it contours to my back. I'm good.
Yeah,
that's good cardio. So I don't know how you run either, because having that back injury, that hurts.
That's kind of why I got into the biking that I did, because I couldn't run.
For sure.
I couldn't run. So I was like, man, maybe I can do this,
For sure. Yeah, I had I raced BMX as a kid, so I've always just had like this love of bicycles. And even as an adult, when I get on a bike, there's just this feeling I get, like independence and freedom.
Yeah.
And you just can't replace it. And it just drug me down this rabbit hole of endurance sports.
So. That is one of the aspects I liked about riding, is you can just go and you're, how to put it, you're mobile. You can go wherever the hell you want. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, think about it. When you're a kid, like your first little taste of independence is your bike.
Yeah.
Like you get to ride to your buddy's house. You get to, the neighborhood swimming pool. Like that was a thing when I was coming up.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, it brings back some of that stuff for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know my mom watches the show, but I think the statute of limitations is already passed. I used to ride, I used to ride my bike from Paradise all the way to Mimosa sometimes, or whatever, when I was in middle school. So,
well, my mom's passed, but she knows all my secrets now. my bike riding, we did some crazy shit back then.
You could get away with it then. Like I feel bad for the kids now. Everybody's got Life 360 or an iPhone, and kids can't get away with anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can't get it. If the kids know where we're at. Like, hey, where you? Oh, give me some food.
Dude, they're like little, they're technology ninjas, man. They're not letting you get away with anything either. Yeah,
gotta block them or something. Yeah, they know where you're at. So
I don't let my daughter follow me. Only my wife. That's it.
The one that doesn't know how to use technology.
Yeah.
So, what did get you into the gym at Cyclone? Like, what did get you into wrestling or grappling?
Man, it's something I've been wanting to do. I put together, I wouldn't really call it a team, but there was a group of guys that we got together, and I kind of coached them through their first triathlon.
Yeah.
Couple retired Navy SEALs. Another one of my buddies, he's still in the Army. He's a Black Hawk pilot. Just some guys that wanted to do something, that were used to really being in a high-paced, high-demand type of environment, and had really trained physically with a purpose in a long time. So, yeah, I kind of went through that. And then once I got that behind me was when I came over to the gym. Yeah, it's just something I've been interested in for a long time. And I just kind of carved out some space in life for it finally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody, when they start it and they love it, they always, I wish I would have started it sooner. I said the same thing, but at least you started it.
Yeah.
At least you found it.
I was 33
at least you
when
eventually
I first started.
Yeah, I was old.
I remember your 40th birthday.
Yeah.
I think the whole gym remembers that day.
So yeah, I made it a point to come on my birthday, because the first birthday I came to that attended, Darren made everybody do
40 burpees.
40 burpees.
That
So
sucks.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm coming every day, every birthday, just to piss people off. I think I've only missed one or maybe two now, because it didn't happen on a class day.
Oh yeah.
So there's one day that it didn't happen. It was a few of us. We just came and we just grappled. We grappled for at least 40 minutes straight.
That's cool. That's super cool.
So yeah, and we did like it was an all man grapple. So it was like 3 or 4 of us.
A Royal Rumble.
Yeah, we just grappling each other, like somebody jump on each other's back, and we're trying to, team up on Billy or whatever.
It was, at first they started teaming up on me, but then it was nice because they started turning on each other.
Yeah.
Take some of the pressure off.
Got a little bit better then.
Yeah. So how long you been with us now? It's been a few months now. Right?
Yeah.
At least.
It was before Thanksgiving. I remember that.
I think it was like October, something like that. I think I'm probably coming up on about somewhere around 5-6 months, something like
maybe
that.
August actually. Because for a while, you were coming constantly. Then
Yeah.
all the different events happen with some of the charities that you're involved in and all that stuff. And
Yep.
so,
No, that's right. Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, man. I found that people. So let's just say 6 months. I found that people either they're gonna stick with it now, or they're already gonna quit.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad to see you're still coming and falling in love with it, man. It's it's a good feeling, man.
Yep.
And it helps that we got a cool gym.
Yeah,
Definitely.
The instructors are great. I really love those guys.
Yeah.
So Zach, you actually started while we were doing our fundamental program. So before, whenever everybody come, you'd grapple right away. A lot of people not knowing what to do and all that stuff.
And when we say right away, like literally before we even we warmed up, then all of a sudden grapple. So you're already sweating and tired, and then you're looking at somebody who's ready to grapple you and usually try to kill you because you're fresh meat.
Yeah. And a lot of times, most people really look at you like, well, I don't know what to do. Whether they didn't wrestle in high school or they just wrestle with their friends, but they don't know what to do from that position and all that. And then with our fundamental program, we got 36 techniques that repeat over 23 classes and over and over and over. You've made a multiple rotations now. How are you feeling with this fundamental program?
So I like it. We get to focus on more of just like the technical aspects of it's slowed down, For me, I really do enjoy a little bit of the, just like the flow rolling and really getting to use it live.
Yeah.
But it is nice to, because you get somebody in a position, like this just isn't quite right. Somebody comes along and they're like, no, adjust your hand. You can move this way, kind of manipulate. Yeah. So you are getting a lot of instruction and things kind of start to string together. Like, the other day, Tuesday, like there was a position I ended up in. And I kept thinking to myself, like later that day, I'm like, why did I not try this?
Yeah.
And it just it's kind of just been bugging me, but it's,
that happens.
Yeah. Just you just put it all together, man.
Yeah. One thing I like about it so far is whenever Renee and I first started, we would do almost a different technique every day. And then by Friday, like, crap, what do we do on Monday?
Yeah.
But with the fundamentals, it cycles. So again, like once you get to class 23, class comes next, class number 1. So it's like, wait, if I remember.
And they're all complementing each other per se. So.
Yeah.
Versus 12 months down the road or 3 years down the road. Now
then we get back to
that technique again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's been really good. It's been, and some of the time you kind of feel like you're learning a new language and drinking through a fire hose.
Yeah.
Just like anything, this is the same thing when I started with CrossFit. Like they speak their own language.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell's an AMRAP or an EMOM? Okay. All right. I'll catch up.
Well, and it's crazy because both of those things are considered cultish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
CrossFit and then jiu-jitsu guys.
CrossFit people talk about CrossFit. Jiu-jitsu people talk about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, very much. I think any major group of something like that, definitely.
I think it's some of the more successful, it's like when you get into it, you just get sucked into it. It's like, I don't know. I like the group fitness aspect. So it was a real natural move. And look, there's things definitely that when we're doing jujitsu, and I'm like, man, if this guy had a kettlebell at his house and he worked with it for like 10 minutes a day, he'd be freaking dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know, it carries over. But yeah. And my wife is a CrossFit coach, and we're really, my best friends are the owners of River Parish CrossFit, Ray and Dara. And we love them to death. We love the gym. And a lot of those guys are always like, man. So they I've obviously noticed that I'm not there a couple of days a week. I'm like, man, how's jujitsu? I'm like, it's a lot like CrossFit, except the barbell's trying to kill you. I told Rennie that the other day, but that is the best comparison I have.
And not just that, but sometimes the barbell's trying to tell you how to kill it.
Yeah, true.
Say, hey, wait up, look. If you move your arm, you can choke me a little bit better.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, man, I'll tell you what, it's changed a lot. Just the way I think about things, situations, kind of like some of my situational awareness, constantly things that you're kind of thinking about. And I'll tell you one thing for sure, and we kind of talked about this Tuesday too, and this is something I'd kind of like you to chime in on, but being in those situations, I'm pro Second Amendment, big time, right?
Which we got big news coming out on that in Louisiana right now.
Yeah, that's good. That makes me legal because I don't believe in concealed carry. I think it's we don't have to get into that. We don't have to get political, but anyway, so I carry.
Yeah,
and since I've started jiu-jitsu, I don't, because I realized that if I ended up in a physical altercation, that I don't think that I can prioritize defending like my vital areas, like my face and my neck, and keep possession of a firearm. And I don't know how that all fits together.
So one thing we tell our police recruits is, if you're going to train jiu-jitsu, you have to be able to have a switch in your head to where if I'm in jiu-jitsu class and I'm doing tournaments or whatever, look, all these techniques, this will be fun. We can do all this. And then we actually teach a program called SSGT, Strategic Gun Defense and Grappling Tactics or whatever. That's Johnny Lee Smith out in Alabama. And it's based on jiu-jitsu, but it's for police officers. Because police officers, we have to think about, I got this gun belt around my waist. I got a gun. I got a taser. I got handcuffs. All of which, if it's taken from me, can be used against me.
Oh, yeah.
So the jiu-jitsu changes a lot when you think about that. You could also look at sport jiu-jitsu versus combat jiu-jitsu. When somebody's not punching at me, I could do all kind of nice, beautiful, fancy things. Oh, yeah. But the second the punches are coming at me, I have to defend those punches. So
right.
It's a different style of training, and it's one thing that in advanced class we're definitely going to be implementing in the near future. As far as, hey, on this day, bring a mouthpiece, bring some gloves or whatever. We're not hitting each other hard, but we're going to be in these positions and we're going to be striking. And now you get to test your punch block stage 1 through 4 and all that stuff. Make sure it's working.
Right. Yeah, it's just something I think about. And it's like, man, if I'm carrying a gun and I start getting in an altercation, I don't know what to do if I end up on the ground. Yeah. And so I would probably be more inclined to draw the gun before I needed to. So I'd rather not have it and not bring that into the equation.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do in a ground fight is actually draw the weapon. The safest place for it is in the holster.
Yeah.
Because the second you draw it, now it becomes a fight.
Now it's in play.
Yeah.
But I do think that legitimate concerns, but I think you can find that balance.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So where you can comfortably carry, and because a lot of things you can't do with jiu-jitsu where you may need the gun.
Yeah,
exactly.
So not just that, but I mean, with Rennie's Pakiti class, you can always have a knife with you in any kind of situation.
It's just made me aware that that's a potential issue that I'm not really equipped to face. Yeah. So I would rather not have that in that equation.
And see that's being responsible.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Because a lot of people want to get a gun and they have zero training. So when it come a time they really need to use it, they have no training whatsoever, and just have a gun in their hand.
No, and I don't want to hurt anybody. That's the thing. Like I don't want to be in that situation. And God, look, I've been in a situation like that one time. We had my house got broken into.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of crazy. But man, I don't ever want to be in that situation again.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why a lot of us do practice jiu-jitsu and why it's called the gentle art is I can take you down. I can control you on the ground. I could apply submissions if I want to, but I don't have to get to the point to where I injure you permanently.
Yeah.
I can sit there and I can cause just a little bit of controlled pain to you and hold you there until law enforcement gets there.
So there was a big documentary that just came out about the whole George Floyd incident.
Yeah.
And that was an approved tactic. It was in the manual.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after that, there was an incident where I think it was an off-duty police officer that trained. I think he was a black belt. And he was in a convenience store and this guy was acting erratic. I think he had a knife or something. And he took the guy down and he basically had him like in a tactical mount.
Yeah.
And he just held him down until more people came. And it's like, man, how much better. Like he had total control of this guy. There was no pressure on any type of vital area of his body. And I mean, I'm not saying one way or another how I feel about the George Floyd thing. That's way beyond what I want to talk about here. But it's still like, it's such a good application.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and my buddies have a group text and we were kind of talking about the comparison of the videos. A lot of the stuff from the trial came out. It's like, how much cleaner is this? Look what this guy did.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's got him in a position where, and you can even see him, he's patting the guy down with one hand, seeing if he's got a weapon, what up, anything else, what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just,
we've all been in a bottom mount before. And with somebody that's really good at sitting there controlling you, I mean, you just feel helpless down there.
Yeah. And whatever you do, you can't, you know.
Yeah.
They got people that sit on top of Rennie, just tickle them.
I've heard about that guy, man.
Going back to the law enforcement, though, we have a student that used his, like literally used his jiu-jitsu from like a class a week before the incident happened. Same tactics, put the guy down, control him, stay on top of him.
Yeah.
You know, and we seen the footage and I was like, man, that's sold right there. Man.
It was classic. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he didn't take that class,
I know,
then he wouldn't have did that. He might have did it a different way, but you know, he like textbook.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And he's somebody that he started jiu-jitsu because he was in a use of force situation.
Yeah.
And he was thinking about back to what one of the things that he learned at the academy that he forgot. And he's like, man, I need to start taking these classes and learn how to do this. Very next situation that he had like that, just flawlessly controlled. Nobody got hurt. Nobody injured. Everything just looked beautiful.
He was your cadet too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to get him going to that SSGT instructor course pretty soon.
Okay, awesome.
He's actually going to be an instructor soon.
Right. Nice. Yeah. How's he doing? I haven't talked to him in a long time.
I've texted him about the instructor course. Other than that, I really didn't get a chance to. He's busy. He's a detective uptown.
Oh, he's a detective now?
Yeah, he gets a lot.
When did he become a detective?
He's been a detective for a couple months now, right? At least 8 or 9 months.
Okay, yeah, it's been that long since I probably talked to him. I had no idea. Oh, that's cool.
But they get a heavy case log up there, so he's been busy.
Oh, I bet.
They actually solve crime in New Orleans?
Yes, sometimes. On the record, yes.
No disrespect.
On the record,
On the record, yes, we do.
So, what about your wife? Does your jiu-jitsu interfere, or does she's like, oh, you going back to jiu-jitsu? You got jiu-jitsu again tonight? Or anything like that?
Yeah.
So when are you going to come to CrossFit?
Yeah.
I only ask because a lot of guys that are come to jiu-jitsu that their wives don't come. It's like it's just like going to the gym. It's like, oh, you going again? You got there again? You know, didn't you go already yesterday?
That's why you got to bring your family.
So I've done a lot of crazy stuff since we've been. As a matter of fact, my second Ironman I did on a Sunday, and then the following Saturday we got married and we did a destination wedding. We rented a house on the beach and everybody came there. So we came home on Monday, unloaded triathlon on Tuesday, loaded wedding, and went and got. Oh, wow. So she's a good sport, but she's she's a marathon runner. Her dad, my father-in-law, he's run a bunch of marathons. He's done the Ironman thing, so she was kind of primed for it. But she wasn't real hip on me not being at the gym every day. It was kind of our thing. But I mean, once I've gotten it, so we've adjusted our schedules. So what she does is she's a coach.
Yeah.
So on the days when I have class, she coaches the later class, and then that buffers. It's just scheduling.
Right. I was going to kill what I was about to suggest is like take her on Tuesday and Thursday.
Take her on, I was about to say.
All the females.
So when are we going to get her in over here?
Yeah, so we're undergoing fertility treatment. So we're like 2 years in. We're trying to have a baby. So
I heard that. I listened to that podcast.
Yeah. So we're real open about it. That's been it's just been a big big thing that we've talked about and just really advocated for that community, just by being kind of open and talking about it. So I don't think she's going to be doing any any rolling around right now. So
a few months after though.
Yeah. And then I might make a new student if I'm lucky.
Right. We can have a young.
She's not gonna we were watching a Tan Lee fight last night.
Yeah.
And dude, so those one fight that card was awesome. Yeah. Have you watched?
A lot of people
I didn't watch
on
this
One FC. One FC is
good.
It's actually the largest organization.
Yeah,
they have more fighters and more people in Asia than UFC.
Yeah,
dude, they had Muay Thai, they had boxing, they had MMA. It was awesome. It's one guy, he tapped the guy out with an armbar, and she was like, "Ah." She's like, "Did you see? He was gonna break his arm." Like, he wasn't gonna break his arm.
Well, he might have.
I mean, he could have. He might have. Like, he absolutely could have.
But the guy tapped.
Yeah. He did.
He was in complete control of his arm being broken. So
it's hard to get somebody to understand that. It was a little hyperextended. It was, but I mean, hey, at that level, that's what it is.
Yeah. Those injuries in fights like that, when one of the joints hyperextend, is just so gruesome looking. I've seen one where the guy went to throw somebody and he landed and his knee bent sideways.
Oh, it's not good.
And you can see the skin just crinkle up.
It's no good.
Oh gosh.
The worst thing for me, Randy, is when people forget to break fall. Yeah. And they reach back and you just see the arm crumple.
Yeah, I've got a few videos of that.
It's rugged.
So we did break falls on the women's self-defense.
That was this last Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last night. Yeah.
And so we tell them. So I had them put up the crash pad, and I told them just walk backwards, and when you trip yourself, break fall. All right, we explained all the break fall things. Yeah. So they did it. They were doing okay,
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, all right, I'm going to do it again. And this time I was walking in front of them, and I said, don't let me touch you. So I picked up the pace.
Yeah.
So now almost all of them just put their hands down. And I said, that's what we're teaching, that because when you try to do it, you do it yourself, okay, bam. But if somebody's attacking you, it goes out the window.
You got a little bit of stress.
Yes, you got stress. And then you like, oh, that's your automatic, reaction is to brace yourself. But yeah, that's gruesome when you see those in a competition or on our mat.
Yeah,
it can be bad.
That's why we practice break falls quite often. As far as any time you're gonna do a technique where you're falling, we try to warm up with break falls.
Yeah, and you cannot do any standing until you learn the break fall.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but yeah. So any plans to compete in jiu-jitsu?
Not necessarily. Man, it's funny you said this. I was having a conversation about this last night. So I don't know that a jiu-jitsu competition is in my future, but I tell you what I am interested in.
What's that?
So they do the Battle of the Badges.
Yes.
So I was kind of thinking about reaching out to the promoter, seeing if maybe there's like another politician that would want to come have a match.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I could think of a few for you.
Man, look. So those
I would love to see.
Yeah,
we can get you in touch with the guy.
So I was thinking, I'd be like, man, it'd be cool, like Billy Nungesser, but he doesn't have a neck. I couldn't choke him. We can do MMA rules, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be. I mean, look, all in the spirit of raising some money.
That would be fun.
Whatever.
That would be a fun. I think you should definitely try to go for that.
My wife is going to be pissed when she hears this. By the way,
no. We're gonna. She's not going to watch this episode. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, but man, that would be. I would like to do something like that. That'd be.
I got a few more names to give you off the air later.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Names that we can put on there.
Dude, just let's drop it. I mean, let's talk about it. Who are we talking about?
Let's call them out.
Well, I mean, I do have civil service protection, but we're going to test out for it.
I mean, you're not promoting a candidate. You're suggesting someone for
a charity.
Yeah, for charity.
You're suggesting a charity.
Possibly on the New Orleans City Council.
JP Morrell?
Maybe one of them.
I'm not scared of him. I mean, I like the guy.
You hear that, JP?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who we got. Let's talk about it.
Now, finally, I'm shutting up first.
Jeez.
So let's downplay his grappling then. We won't talk anymore.
Well, I mean, he's a white belt. I mean, shit.
Yeah, he's a white belt.
Can he grapple really, right?
Right. I can't even breathe right, man.
3 seconds he's breathing heavy, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be really very cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that'd be cool.
I think that would might even take off other people saying, "Oh, let's do that." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would be cool.
It's just, I mean, it's just a bunch of old politicians that come to mind. I can't really think of anybody that would be like physically able.
And like, it's all in fun. It ain't like just like the because a lot of the matches were just in fun. You know, they're boxing and they're not really trying to kill each other. And in fact, that's what it says. You know, when he was promoting it, like this isn't a to the death match. No, we're not trying to kill people. All right, we're just it's just a charity.
No, because generally, even though we talk a lot of trash, we like the fire department. They're all right. They're good little brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs a secondary responder to show up to their
house. So one of my best friends is a firefighter in Kenner. He's the training officer, Ray, that owns the CrossFit gym. And he's always like telling me all this technical stuff about firefighting. I'm like, bro, just put the wet stuff on the hot stuff and shut up. Come on, man. No, those dudes, man, they put their neck out on the line every freaking day. First responders in general, man, that's a calling and a gift.
Yeah, I couldn't picture a burning building burning down around me. I mean,
and then
I'd rather be in a gunfight.
Right. You ever seen those fireman competitions? That's insane. You know,
there's a local guy that does them.
Really?
That's
Jacob insane.
Yeah, Jacob Erfel does them, man. He was like, I think they went to California or something, and I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah,
like they carry all that that stuff's heavy, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm amazed, like when they run it and they got the ladder and they
go,
whoosh, you know, and they climbing up this ladder. I'm like,
crazy,
bro. No, I'm afraid of heights for one. You know, that ladder's just hanging on the thing. You know?
And then you pick it up, bring it over, and bring it
exactly. Like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, man.
We're definitely gonna have to get in touch with
Joey and suggest that and say, hey, we know somebody. You know, that totally good aspect to add to it. Definitely.
Combat jiu-jitsu, definitely.
Yeah.
Open hands once it gets to the ground.
Oh man.
I've if you are looking to ever get, if you have there's one that comes here, the Tap Out Cancer.
It's a charity one. It's a charity raise money, fight cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good.
If you're gonna only do one tournament, it's just for a good cause. Is where
yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Let's switch gears a little bit as I'm looking at here. Justice Peace. So you were elected when?
2020.
2020.
Yeah, so the 2020 presidential election, I was on that ballot.
Okay.
And then took office January 1st, 2021.
Okay. Because I have no idea anything about politics and the government as far as terms and stuff like that. Is it do you have to get reelected again?
Yes, I have a 6-year term.
6-year term. Okay.
So we go till 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this past election, you didn't have to run.
Didn't have to do anything. No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Just sit back and watch.
Right.
Well, ethically, I can't be involved.
Yes.
Like publicly, but you're still involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
so for some of our listeners that might not be as informed, what does the Justice of the Peace do?
Mm-hmm. So basically, I tell people jokingly, I'm the lowest judge in the land. That's kind of what it is. So we handle most of my calls are tenant landlord law. So your evictions and any issues that arise out of a lease agreement for the most part. Mm-hmm. We also are ex officio notaries, so I'm not allowed to do anything as far as a will or the transfer of immovable property. So real estate can't do. Mm-hmm. But your cars. Doing weddings. Matter of fact, did a wedding yesterday. Somebody called me. They're like, "Hey, I want to get married today." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm down the street. I'll meet you at the courthouse."
Oh, that's cool.
All the time that happens. That's really cool. That's really like a fun thing.
It is.
It's cool. It's usually like
I honestly thought, because I did the online administrator thing.
Yeah.
And I almost had to marry my son because he had another person doing it and they weren't sure if they can do it, and it would have been my first one. And I was like, man, maybe I should just do this as a side business.
Well, I don't really charge people, so I don't know what the going rate is. If it doesn't, if it doesn't inconvenience me usually, or if it doesn't make me, because I have office hours. Mm-hmm. So, there's certain days of the week people, I'll say, they schedule it far in advance. So it's really, I'm kind of the belief that, I was elected to provide a community service. And I get paid by the parish. You know, it's pennies on the, you know, for the amount of time that I put in, which is fine. You know what you're signing up for. Like, but you know, and I like to provide that service for people. And, you know, after, even after like Hurricane Ida, people were taking a lot of SBA loans and there was a lot of paperwork that went along with that. So I didn't advertise it because people do make a living as a notary. And I mean, I don't want to, you know, take food off anybody's table, but when people came to me with those, I didn't charge them anything. And I mean, some of these title companies, I won't say names, are charging people like $800 and $900 to prepare those packets.
Oh, wow.
And like, if somebody's taking a $50,000 loan, it's like, oh, okay, just take it out of this, whatever. So just a mess. But yeah, so it's not about the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of the phone calls. Disputes over property, like mostly trees. And trees are terrible because like no one has jurisdiction over a tree. Basically, you can't force somebody to cut it. You can't give somebody permission. There's just always these concerns, and it's just
it's like if it's straddling a property line and it's
or hanging over.
Yeah. So you can cut but it's an unhealthy. It's a dead tree, and they're afraid it's going to fall in their house, and there's just really nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anything, Billy, that you can? I'm running out of questions. Ask Mr. Young Zack.
I mean, I already asked how he liked to cuddle with everybody and all that stuff. So I mean, most of the time I guess as well. But I mean, he showed up to class, so I mean, he kind of volunteered for it.
So I think I remember when I started taking over that every now and then when you're out, and I did a class, and nobody was really grappling yet, and I said, okay, like, guys, let's just do a little like rapid. And he didn't have anybody, so I sat in front of him and said, hey, let's grapple. And he's like, what do I do? And I said, shit, you didn't grapple yet? I was like, man, I'm so sorry. Dude. Like, I didn't want to, I felt like the bad guy now. You know,
well, I got a lot of pushback after that class because apparently they started liking that shit. And at first we weren't letting the fundamentals grapple at all because again, we wanted to make sure everybody understood you had a nice firm base underneath. You're not developing any bad habits.
So granted, I did say you don't have to do it, but if you want to try it, you can try it.
You know? Well, I have to let them on Thursdays. I'll let them flow roll. I tell them nobody try to hurt nobody. Nobody's winning the world championships tonight. Just nice and easy or whatever. And then play jiu-jitsu.
Right. And then one of them I did, because we were doing the punch block system, I did the gloves, and I put some gloves on some people, and some of them were like, oh, I ain't doing that. And then they're just super easy. We're not punching you hard, you know, just try to touch their face.
I can name the people that said they're not doing that. They got notes on the back of their cards.
No, she wasn't, but the one that she grapples with that in that group.
I've never looked at the back of the card. There's notes on the back.
Oh, sometimes.
On some people's cards.
Some people get notes.
Some people when I feel a little
When we get back to the gym,
he's getting a note.
Zach's definitely getting a note.
That's all right. I'm not.
No, there's generally no notes, but sometimes I'll put some notes on the back.
It's on your permanent record.
It is.
It is
a permanent record. It stays in the gym.
Yeah. And that was funny when she first seen it. What is this? See back.
See back.
Yeah, look at the back of the card.
Oh, that's rough.
So what's your favorite class, or if you can recall, what's your favorite techniques that you've learned so far?
I don't know. I like the elevator sweep class.
A lot of people love that class.
A lot of people like that one.
That's a fun one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Look, honestly,
I'm looking for it more often now because of it. Not to cut Zach off.
Yeah.
But he was talking when I'm trying to talk.
No, it's fine. Whatever. And man, punch block series. I think that's just so applicable.
Yes.
Yes.
So those would probably be my top two.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody takes you down and they get on top of you, they have no good intention for you. So
No.
You got to make yourself as safe as possible.
Right. Yeah. Yep. The elevator sweep is I don't know what it is, but it is a cool class. Everybody seems to like that one. I think it's because they really feel the control of flipping somebody over.
Yes.
And how
the
easy.
sweeps in general. Yeah.
They're like,
when you do it correctly, they fall over themselves basically.
Yeah. You're just taking all that weight and dumping it. Yeah. But and while you're grappling so far, because you've had a full flow matches and whatnot, what do you find you're going to most?
Defense. Man, just survival mode. You know, like my first couple rounds, I was really kind of trying to like get in a dominant position, try to find a submission. it's just so overwhelmed. So of course, go to podcasts, go to audiobooks, go to YouTube, and just listening to some of these guys that have content out there, and just says, hey, look, man, focus on surviving. Survive the round, and then as you progress, then start working in those things.
Right.
Felt like it took a lot of pressure off of me, and I was able to really focus on just staying in the fight.
And I think I told you that Tuesday. Everybody felt away. Everybody feels away. Parish still feels away.
And not to downplay what y'all go through right now, but I mean, we had Darren, Lance, Alfredo, Sean, all whenever we were coming up. And these are guys that they just punish you and they make it painful. So I think right now, y'all got people trying to be a little bit nicer to you. But
these guys,
you learn survival real quick.
Right.
Just even though I didn't even get on top of you, I won today because it took you 3 minutes to tap me today.
Right. Yeah. No, that's absolutely how I feel about it.
And that's what I was telling you Tuesdays too, is when you're grappling, and it's not that ahead of time really, like, oh, I can beat this guy, but you kind of get an idea when you've grappled them before, like you kind of overpower them, or you kind of a little bit, a little more skilled than them. And like when you go on somebody who's definitely better than you, if they're just learn to survive, and then practice your offensive when you're going with somebody who's lower than you.
Right. It makes all the sense in the world.
Because then you have time to actually do it. You don't have time to do it when somebody's just killing you,
I'm starting to sound like a broken record in class, but I tell people all the time, you got to decide what is winning to you.
Yeah.
Is getting past his guard winning today? Is not getting submitted winning today? Is just staying safe. This person, in this situation, they can't cause me any kind of harm. They can't punch me. They can't do anything. Is that winning?
Yes, that's a win. Yeah. No, it's a really good point. And I think that's something, in any athletic endeavor, I think a lot of people don't have a definable goal. And then that's going to lead you to some type of injury or some type of just being so just not feeling like you're really hitting any of those performance indicators. Yeah. And then people just get discouraged and leave whatever discipline it is.
Yeah.
And I see like the Globo gym guys do that a lot. It's like, look, man, and look, no disrespect, but like, I don't think that you can go in here and bench press 400 pounds every week. Like, what are we accomplishing here? Like, there's got to be like a deload and a build up, and you got to figure out what this goal is, because hey, you're going to go in here and freaking tear your pectoral tendon and you're out for 8 months. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
You got to live to fight another day.
Right. Absolutely. And that's going back to the jiu-jitsu. Like that's important thing too, is knowing who to grapple with. If you know your limits, where you don't want to get hurt, you just stay away from it. That's what we tell people.
There's some people that are naturally inclined to go harder than other people.
Yes, yes. And a lot of guys, that's a lot of concern with the guys is, I don't want to get hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So don't get hurt.
Yeah. So just, you generally know who you may get hurt with if you're grappling people.
Oh yeah.
White belts.
Yeah.
White belts are the most dangerous people to grapple with. And it's nothing because you
strong white belts or strong and quick white belts. Yeah.
People that, they really don't know the technique that well, so they're going to over rely on strength. And when they're yanking it. Because again, when I was a white belt, I was that white belt. Darren had to tell me so many times, like, hey, stop. Don't yank so hard on a submission and all that stuff. Yeah. And it took a while to kick in. But then eventually it did. It's like, oh crap, I'm being a shitty ass partner right now.
Yeah. So I did a lot of the reading and stuff on that beforehand, before I started.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like overly cautious about it. So I mean, especially like any submission and any choke.
Yeah.
I'm like super slow about setting it in. Like I don't want, because look, I mean, sometimes the difference between being okay and tapping out is, I mean, the thickness of a freaking fingernail.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you puff your chest out or open your hip a little bit, and I mean, it changes the whole thing. So just learning to figure that out and being super slow. Like I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to be hurt, I don't want to be the reason someone else is out either.
And that's a bad feeling when you do hurt somebody. You're like, man, they can't train now.
Yeah.
And besides not just training, I mean, this is going to affect them going to work.
Oh, I know. You got to be respectful of that stuff. So that's
that's so if you notice a lot of the guys, or especially me or Billy or Mr. John, I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. John, but like,
we've met.
We are definitely, we pick our partners carefully so we don't get hurt.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I got to grapple with everybody. But
yeah. So no, Mr. John and I go way back. So his son, John,
Little John.
Yeah, we graduated
Who's
high school.
Not so little.
Yeah, no, he's not little at all. we graduated high school together. We pledged a fraternity together in college, and we're college roommates. So we go way. Been in a lot of trouble together. So,
all right.
Yeah. Mr. John, he's like a gym grandfather. He's awesome. Everybody loves him. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, we need to get him back.
Yeah,
we need to get him back out here.
Yeah,
he was on
the first episode.
Yeah, I watched it. I did.
So rewatch that first episode, Mr. John.
Big John. He wrist locked me. I'm like, what was that? And like I didn't even know what to do. I screamed. I was like, ah! And he let go. That was bad.
So that was Billy's first submission on me. He wrist locked me, and I'm like, you bastard! Like I just grabbed his gi like that, and then I was like, oh my god!
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't a chin to the ribs.
That was at the old place too. I remember,
Did you start at the little room or the one next door? The one that used to be the yogurt shop? Because I was 2 weeks at the little one next door to the yogurt shop. Then we moved to where the yogurt shop was.
Man, I don't even remember what it was now. I was the one or something like that. Top and bottom.
Yeah, so that was the yogurt shop.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Okay, so I was probably about 2 weeks before you. So but that one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a huge gym whenever we were there.
Yeah.
And then the mat space we got now is just great.
And honestly, I think we can get bigger.
I think we will soon. I mean, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when people show up for that fundamental class, it is huge.
Yeah. It would be nice to be able to have two different classes at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or two different groups at the same time.
You might have a jiu-jitsu match and a striking tournament going on.
Or just like the women's class. And, whatever. Yeah. But yeah.
We can get some of those bad students out of the regular class with the notes on the back of their cards.
Yeah. Well, the last advanced class had a little bit of people, right? I can't remember.
We had a decent amount, about 7 or 8 people, so it was pretty good. Yeah. I mean, the fundamental class is just so much bigger right now. We're getting so many new students, which is beautiful. And it's at the point now where I'm starting to have to tell people, it's like, hey, you know what? You've been to at least 2-3 cycles of the fundamental class. You can start coming to the advanced class.
Right. Yeah. So. And Chrissy did. Chrissy came to an advanced class.
Yeah, Minnie came to one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which keep telling Zach to come because he wants to roll and comes to flow, but I guess he's busy on Monday and Wednesdays.
He's got lives, man.
Yeah, just working my schedule. So
I know. I wish I usually don't go Mondays, Wednesdays. If I do, it's just to help the kids class and then leave.
Yeah.
But because I think about it, my wife's like, "You going again?" Because I'm there Tuesdays and Fridays, and then I try to at least get one day during the week, and then I'm there during lunch classes too sometimes, so it can get.
Well, after 10 years, I was hoping Tammy would get a stripe on her white belt.
I was hoping she'd come to class, but she tried it again. My wife, she tried it again, and she's just like, I just can't get into it. It's like, all right, but she said, I'm gonna do your Pakiti.
Now that class is picking up too. I've noticed some people staying after jiu-jitsu.
We picked up. It's up and down because it would be really good, but I have a few people that are out because of injuries. Like Jared, he has to get his neck fused. He has to get something fused on his back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has stenosis and he has something, so he's out for a while.
Not a stick injury.
No stick injuries.
You need to put your promotional video back.
Yes, yeah. There's no stick injuries. Nobody's okay. I won't say that, but yeah, very rarely does anybody get hurt.
You don't have to train with Heather if you don't want to.
Yeah. But yeah, they had a few people that's out, and so the guy that came back to jiu-jitsu recently, whatchamacallit, he started coming to class.
Yeah,
so hopefully he's liking it. It's a different thing. So a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys.
That was Brad, right?
Brad, yeah. A lot of guys don't. They just see it and they're like, I don't want to get hit with a stick, which nobody wants to get hit with a stick.
That's why you take the class.
And we teach you, so we teach you not to get hit with that stick, you know, or a knife. You know, it's the same thing. So so we teach you not to do that. You know, and it's since learning that martial art, now just like you notice things that I don't want to have my gun, this and that. So I don't ever want to grapple with anybody on the street if I don't have to, because they're going to pull a knife. I'm not going to tie up and say, and then all of a sudden they pull a knife. I'm definitely not, or vice versa. If somebody takes me down, I know I ain't got to use my jiu-jitsu because they're getting cut. Right? I'm cutting somebody, but yeah, I'm hoping it picks up even more. I'd have to. It's the thing is, it takes a lot of time. You're here for jiu-jitsu, so you can't really go 5 days a week. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people, so you have to go to take all the classes that we offer. You'd have to be there a lot. You have to have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So I understand.
I understand that commitment. It's not fun all the time.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, man. You're there almost every. Well, not now.
I've been taking Friday off recently because I just need a day in the week that's mine for now. Right. But I mean, not eventually. Starting next week, we got competition class starting back up because we got 2 tournaments coming up in April. So I got to get those kids ready. Yeah.
So I was gonna tell you, if you ever need me to, I could do a Saturday competition class.
I need you to.
Yeah, just let me know. Let me know when I can schedule it in. And take that time. Definitely.
And then you can teach Zach in that class for when he does his April tournament.
Yes. Yeah, he's been doing the kickboxing too, man. So
I know.
I got some good video of him.
I come in there on Tuesdays right before my class starts, and Zach's all sweaty already. It's like, this is gonna be a fun roll.
So I went Friday to striking. I was like, I hope Zach's gonna be there. Nobody was there, man. Nobody.
Oh yeah, Fridays are tough.
Yeah. But I'm sore, dude. I haven't done striking.
I noticed that because we were going to do
Sport
Wars on Fridays or whatever, but it's just I guess everybody's thinking about the weekend at that point, and Friday's always rough.
So so I'm thinking going back to some of the grappling post class. That's when they usually want to do it. They do at least 1 or 2 sessions. I tell them, I still tell people Friday you can still come in anytime. Yeah. I don't care as long as I'm there because I'm there from 6 to 9. Y'all can come in and train. And spar or whatever, or do whatever you want to do, because they need it. If they need it, they need it.
Yeah.
But we had Josh came in and his brother Jonathan 2 weeks ago.
That scared everybody off.
That was nobody came. Nobody was there except that new kid Isaac, the long haired, looks like my little brother.
He just went back offshore.
Yeah,
Isaac.
Yeah, he came and he had fun. He got to roll with Josh.
I mean, when you roll with Josh, that's a humbling experience because Josh Ramirez. So he won state championship in Rummel.
So Alfredo, the older guy, black belt, his son.
Okay.
So he went to Rummel. He won 3 years in a row state championship wrestling. He moved to Iowa his senior year, where wrestling's a religion, and won their state championship just for the fun of it.
Jeez.
And now he has an MMA career starting, and I mean, he's just phenomenal. His wrestling is on a whole different level. So it's even a little humbling for me when I grapple with him. So
really,
yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm playing defensive.
So the first time I grappled with him, everybody went off to get their partners. They said, all right, pick a partner. And I was getting water or something, and I come back, and he was the only one left. I said, okay. Get in, armbar. I was like, oh my gosh, armbar. I got to the point, I said, dude, you can't armbar no more. No more armbars. Just do something else, please. Do something else. He's long and lanky and muscular, so it's like he can just move and anyway, so he came to that grapple, the Apple mat. We had over mat. He was doing some of the stuff that he's been learning out over at where he's at in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he's in Pennsylvania,
and it was really cool. So I've been practicing it, and I think I used it on you. I used it on Mr. John. I used it on a couple of people when I take the back thing, and I'm trying to perfect it, and it's easy. Like it works. I'm like, holy shit! It looks like gimmicky, like you can't do that or something. But nobody just did. They don't expect it.
You're gonna have to show me what it is now because I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there singing in my head and all that.
Or tickling me.
Yeah, he did that to me the other day. Like he was trying to tickle me, and I'm like, I know this game. And then he freaking put his hand over my mouth. I'm like, this.
That's the muffler.
Yes. The muffler.
Yes. That one's bad.
So the muffler in some tournaments is illegal, but tickling, I've not found a rule set yet. But now, if somebody's watching this podcast, it's going to be a rule.
They're going to expect it. They're going to expect it when they go against you.
Yeah.
Have you been mother's milked?
No.
Oh, that's a Darren thing.
That's a Darren one. I've used it a couple times since then.
So Darren really doesn't wear a rash guard underneath his gi, and he'll put his nipples right on top of your mouth while you're trying to sit there and breathe while he's mounted on top.
He'll just put it right in the center and then just hold your head and then so you can't and you can't breathe.
So you just tap out from being
you just tap out from
smothered.
Yeah. Just get off me.
Yeah.
So that one, and I've done one that he used to do to me who Landon.
All right.
And it was, I don't even know what it's called, but you got to hug, and this fist is in their spine, and you just get flat, and every time they breathe,
and they're
out,
laying
you just
on
get
that
tight,
fist. Yes,
you get tight, and he's like, "What's going on? Tap." So I told him what to do, and I said, "Do it, because you're big and strong. You can just squeeze the life out of somebody."
This is all the mean stuff Darren used to do to us.
Yeah, wrist locks. He was always getting the wrist locks on us.
That's why Mr. John wrist locks you, I think, because Darren did it to him so many times.
Probably so.
Yeah. So it was my goal to always try to wrist lock Darren now. So whenever I do grapple him, I go for it. Even though I know I'm probably never going to get it, but I go for it. So because it distracts, he's like, "Oh shit, no, then he kicks my ass. But I go for that, so it keeps him distracted.
I think the only thing I've ever done against Darren successfully was I got him off of mount one time, and then I paid for it after.
Yeah,
because I think he was kind of going a little bit easy. And then all of a sudden he decided
he was flowing.
You just escaped my mount.
He was flowing on your ass. Oh man, I hope he comes back soon.
We talked the other day. He's like in a month or two he's going to come back.
Okay, yeah. So. I know, because I know they're busy right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nico's been winning. He won freshman as Iowa State championship as a freshman. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's 106 pounds.
106. Yep.
Wow.
106. This kid is shredded. I mean, him and Elijah used to be the same size. Obviously, Elijah's 175 now, so nowhere close in weight, but Nico's shredded.
Yeah. That's crazy to think back then they were the same size. And even when Khaleesi used to come to class.
Yeah.
I found old Lulu. Yeah, not Khaleesi, Lulu. I found old footage of Lulu and Darren, like him instructing, and I was like, holy crap, look at Lulu. But
we're gonna have a young Zach one day. Or young.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. My sister, it took them over 10 years.
Yeah, we don't have that long. I'm too old for that. But yeah, we're we've been on this train for quite a while. So we're starting IVF. Mm-hmm. So we haven't done that. We're going to do the drugs. So it's a more aggressive, drug prescription, I guess. Like, so the protocols with the drugs are like way ramped up. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do that. I don't know if we'll ever make it to egg retrieval or not. Yeah. But we're going to at least see if we can get like the follicles and all that good stuff that goes with all that. So
I'm just thinking how athletic of a kid that's going to be.
Yeah, hope so. I'm going to have to fight with mom to split time between CrossFit and get him over to Jiu Jitsu, but we'll work that out.
I'm saying having both under the belt though. Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I mean, they complement each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I've done maybe 2 CrossFit classes. Mm-hmm. And did you throw up in both? I didn't throw up. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm not trying to, but my buddy that does it, he's like, man, I'm surprised you survived. I said, you did pretty good. I said, man, I mean, lucky if I didn't do jiu-jitsu, I know I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? Cause it's just,
I'm just thinking Big Joe does it sometimes. Or he used to do CrossFit.
He used to do it a lot. Yeah. He used to do it. He used to do it a lot. I mean,
his cardio is not the greatest. So
right. Yeah. So that's
he has muscles forever.
Mm-hmm. We gotta get him back on too.
Yeah,
make fun of him. 10-year white belt.
Well, that's only because he doesn't like feet in his face. Joe will freak out and get disgusted if you put your foot anywhere close to his face. You got to know everybody's weakness.
Everybody's weakness.
Joe don't like feet.
Yeah.
Zach's not so ticklish.
Right.
I mean, I gotta find something else.
We'll find it. Yeah. Darren, he tickled me too. So he would tickle me too. And I'm like, this bastard, everything else you can do to me and you're going to tickle me too now? And I'm like, okay, thumb up his ass.
Check the oil.
Check that oil. I said, there you go. But I think he liked it. So
he's coming back in 2 months, right?
Yeah. It's 2 thumbs. Well, Zach, we really appreciate you coming, man. It was a good conversation. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything
man.
Coming up? I think we hit most of what we really wanted to discuss was, the fundamental program, how you're liking it, and your history, your background, and get everything as far as you being an asset to our school.
Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate the opportunity. We've been trying to schedule this for a while.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of fun. Good conversation.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
When's your you just recently had an episode come out, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I put one out last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got a couple more on the horizon. I've got some guests that I'm pretty excited about.
Awesome.
So
check them out off the record. With
Young Zack.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, we'll get. I guess that's a wrap, and hopefully we get on a good schedule again and have them continuous.
Yeah, it's been since October since our last one.
Yeah, something always came up, and then holidays, and then
Then I got sick for a little bit. I don't like to admit because I don't get sick.
There you go. But don't forget to
break fall.